All right, guys. Data Lauren here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are about to have our second episode of Star Wars: The Waiting Room, and I'm just waiting on my buddy Yandura. Yandura should be popping in here pretty soon. Me and him are going to kick it off and just have a really good conversation, talking all about Star Wars: The High Republic. Right now, I'm reading Midnight Horizon, so I'm not all the way finished with it. I'm about halfway, and I'm enjoying the ride. Major shout out to Daniel Jose Older. If you guys are not reading that, definitely get on that and go and check it out. It is amazing. The High Republic phase, we're in phase 2 right now. And man, it's just some really good, immense storytelling in Star Wars right now. What a time to be a Star Wars fan. That's all I got to say, man. What a time to be a Star Wars fan. Let me check on my chat before we get into announcements. Clash underscore 2v2 says, what's up, Flash? What's up, man? Erica sneaking in as usual. Master Skywalker, this is the way. Hello, Cheyenne. Emma, this is the way. Everyone's just like, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. And then, you know, when Obi-Wan Kenobi comes out, everyone's going to be like, hello there, hello there, hello there. I'm waiting for it. I can't wait until May, man. Grogu, what up, little one? Is Grogu here in the chat? Is Grogu here in the chat, or is Grogu behind me? What's happening? But yeah, man, let's go ahead and cue our introductions. Or announcements more should I say. So every week I tell you guys this in the stream, I am partnered with Saban Neo. So if you guys are looking to buy a lightsaber, I usually always have one on deck close by, but today I don't, so sorry. But you guys can check out some of the videos that I've done on my YouTube channel. So definitely I highly suggest going to check those out, especially if you want to see like kind of how they work, how they function, a little more in depth, you know, basic info about them. I have full review videos out on those. So if you want to see them in action, definitely go and check those out. They're really great. And if you use my coupon code DataLorian at checkout, basically tracks you to me, but it helps me out because I'm an affiliate with them. So it just lets them know that I was the one that sent you. This is the way. So be sure to go and check out Save Neo. Other than that, if you guys are watching on TikTok, I definitely highly suggest subscribe to my YouTube channel. So the goal for our channel here on YouTube, we are pushing to get to 10K this year. I know it's a big stretch, I know, but I know we can do it. I highly believe that we can do it, and I encourage everyone, if you're watching right now on TikTok, what would make my day, what would make me very happy, if you guys have been following me for a while and you enjoy the content that I do, there are a few ways that you can support, and this is one of the easier ways to do that. So definitely come on over and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would make my day. That would be awesome. I would greatly, much greatly appreciate that, because that would be amazing. But yeah, our goal is 10K. So that is the goal for the year, man. I know we can do it. I see my boy Yandura. I'm going to go ahead and pop that link in so he can jump in, and then we'll get the thing started. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe. And come on over. If you're watching on TikTok, I mean, you're more than welcome to watch that too. But I'm live here on YouTube now. So if you want to jump in the chat, just say, hey, it's me from TikTok. I just subscribed. Be sure to come on over and I will shout you out. Other than that, other little announcements, I do have my store for Etsy. I've been constantly pushing that. And I'm going to always be pushing it. There's a few of you guys that were like, hey, man, we want hats and we want some hoodies. And I'm like, cool. But first, y'all got to buy a t-shirt first. Y'all got to buy a t-shirt, go buy a bag, go buy a sticker, go buy the bounty bundle, whatever. Buy something that we have currently. And I feel a sneeze coming on. Is it coming on now? So weird. Okay, it's gone. It's gone. So I'm going to share that really quick just so you guys can check out the store. So, yeah, man, we got our t-shirts. We got the bounty bundle. If you get the bounty bundle, it has our tote bag, which says bounty in my bag. It's got the mythosaur looking all badass on there. Plus, you get 2 of my Dadalorian stickers that say wizard, which is pretty cool. And you get my official On the Bounty List t-shirt of your size, whichever size you like. And we hand make all of this stuff, you guys. If you're watching on TikTok, the place to go to get to my Etsy shop, go to my link tree. So that's where you'll go to access my Etsy shop. If you're buying this week, I will ship out to you this week, I promise. But yeah, I definitely want to push that. If you guys have been following me for a while and you're like, man, I love Dadalorian, love the content you do, and you're looking for another way that you can support me and what I do, that is one of the number 2 ways. Number 1, I would say make sure you follow me on other platforms as well, like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz. Follow me everywhere. That would be amazing. But then also, yeah, I want to see you guys supporting the merch, man. Go support the merch, and I really hope. It seems like a lot of you guys like it. I've gotten nothing but good feedback, and if you guys are like, I mean, it's all right, if it's not for you, that's fine too. But I think the t-shirts are dope. And again, we made all this stuff, so it's coming from my house to yours. So definitely go and check the store out. That would be amazing. Let me go ahead and drop that link to the Etsy shop right there. So that's in the chat. So be sure to go and check that out if you guys can. That would be amazing. Other than that, I think that's all the major announcements. Other than that, yeah, memberships are live as well on the channel. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you've been one of my day ones, and you're like, yo, I want to take it to the next level. I want the full Dadalorian experience every week. You want to see some behind the scenes stuff. We can also work on that. If you're a member to the channel, those are some of the things that I have to offer. And I'm going to bring my buddy Yandura in, because we are tag teaming, obviously, every Wednesday for our waiting room series. And I believe he has some announcements for music stuff as well on his end. So let me go ahead and bring Yandura in. Boom. Bada bing. Hey. There he is. What's good, man?
What up, man? Just got on here. Just got some of my High Republic gear.
Hey, let's go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
We're darkening it. Let me get a little light on.
High Republic everything today, man. We're going in and we're talking all about it. So everyone strap in. Yandura, any announcements from you? I know you had some music stuff going on. Do you want to tell folks about that?
Yeah, man. So I got my song dropping. It's called Got Time. It drops in about two and a half weeks. So March 11th at midnight. It's my first song I've dropped in probably 6 months. Wow. And if you go to the link in my bio on Instagram or on TikTok, you can pre-save it and then DM me proof you did that, and I'll shout you out on Instagram. So yeah, I can't wait. I really got a good feeling about this one. I'm telling you.
Heck yeah, man. Well, you guys heard him. And Yandura, I don't know if you can drop anything in the chat, but if you can, you could always drop a link or tell me where to go. Even if it's on your TikTok, I can always pull that up later too and share that link out so folks can go and check it out. So yeah, make sure you go get his music. So we are talking all High Republic, and I got to give a shout out to Yandura, for kind of pitching more of this idea, because, it really started with, obviously, when we do Wednesdays, our midweek thing, right now it's kind of the waiting room. After this, me and Yandura will obviously be reviewing all the other stuff that's coming out on Disney Plus. But, the idea kind of came about of like, well, what happens next? After it was kind of that moment of thinking like, what's the next, trilogy going to be about? Like when the end of The Mandalorian, the end of Ahsoka, like when it reaches that end point and the next suggested thing says Force Awakens, it's like, okay, well, what's going to happen next? What are they going to do next? And it just seems like the whole narrative that's being set up right now is like, well, we have a plethora of new content that's taking you all the way back to a different time, different characters that maybe a bigger, broader audience of Star Wars may be unfamiliar with, but it's happening right now. And it just makes sense that would be Star Wars, The High Republic. So, and then boom, this series is birthed with me and Yandura talking about it. So, we're going to talk about that today. A lot of different things to talk about, revolving The High Republic. I do have some notes written out, so I'll try to go through that as best as I can. One more announcement before we get started. By the way, don't forget, you guys, Friday is Fortnite Fridays. So really talking to all my TikTok people who don't know about that. So if you guys want to play with me, just make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. And then I'll be live Friday at 2 o'clock. Just send me a friend request on Fortnite. I'll accept your request, jump you in the squad, and we can literally play together. It's going to be amazing. We do that every Friday and Saturday. So Fridays and Saturdays is all Fortnite stuff. I'm playing in the Boba Fett skin. It's amazing. I get trampled and demolished quite often, but I'm getting better. So I'm just throw that out there. And Yandura, you do some gaming stuff too. Do you want to mention that, where people can find you too?
Yeah, so pretty much I Twitch stream Star Wars games almost every night at twitch.tv/Yandura. We were doing Battlefront for a while, but man, that game is so sweaty. I got stressed out, so now we're playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO, because they just dropped a new expansion, and I'm telling you, it brought out Darth Malgus.
Oh, snaps! What?
He's sick, bro. I'm telling you. You gotta watch the trailer if you haven't seen it
Oh
yet.
yeah, yep. It looks crazy, man. I think they should just make an animated movie out of that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? I would be
exactly. The Old
totally fine
Republic
with that.
has it's got such the best animation that I've seen as far as like I mean it's comparable to the shoot, what is the game with Cal Kestis? Fallen
Oh,
Order.
Fallen Order, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
comparable to that as far as graphics. And
Yeah.
man, I'm telling you, it's just we're missing out on even if it's Legends. Show us some Old Republic just length of media. We need it.
Yeah. I
But
think, you're onto something there too. I feel like, and hopefully Lucasfilm is kind of noticing that, which I feel like they are, because technically, what was the Star Wars Visions, is not in the, canon story of Star Wars. It's kind of like just its own thing. But the audience, we're mature enough to differentiate between the two. You know what I mean? Where it's
yeah,
like, oh yeah, this is just its own thing. It's Star Wars, but it's not in the continuing story, but it's its own thing, and we can be fine with that. And I think we're mature enough to say the same for things that are revolved around Legends, or if it's Old Republic. I'm like, hey, we can differentiate the two, and still be happy with all the content.
yeah,
um so I hope they would do that. I'm all for that, man. um so let's start off with a little bit of news, kind of about the Acolyte. So for those who don't know what the Acolyte is, I'm just going to talk briefly about that, and then we'll continue to get into stuff about the phase 2 of Star Wars: The High Republic. So Star Wars: The Acolyte, as far as we know right now, this is the first bit of media that's going to be live action that we're getting for the High Republic, anything right now, besides like video game stuff. But for TV stuff, film related, Acolyte is the first thing. So it's a television series currently being developed by Leslie Headland for Disney Plus. Headland will write, executive produce, and serve as the series showrunner. The show will focus on emergence of dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. So that one should be really interesting. I know the director Leslie Headland. She's done a couple things I think that are fairly notable. Like if you know the show This Is Us, or a couple other things that are more grounded. I feel like she has some really grounded stuff. Not anything that really pops out to me. You know what I mean? Which is fine. Because I think that's one of the things I love about Star Wars with the actors and sometimes directors. You get some people that are, I don't want to say no names, because she's known to some people if you watch some of the things that she does, but it's nice to have a refreshing take on, like, hey, I'm not used to this style of content, or this person's directing, so it's nice to see somebody new coming in for this project. Yandura, for you, what are your thoughts and excitement when we think about the Acolyte? What's something that you're hoping to see in this show?
honestly, I'm looking forward to that show more than most of the ones that they announced on
Really?
the day where they announced all those things, the investor day.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, I know that the creator of that show has gotten 2 Emmy nominations, so
Yep.
she's definitely done some good things before. And like you said, I think it's good to see other people working on these shows, similar to how they did with Book of Boba Fett. They
Yeah.
got different directors for certain episodes. Some hit better than others. Some are perfect. I think
Yeah.
it just varies things up a little bit. And I just honestly, if I had one thing I want to see, I don't know if this fits the timeline right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I
Yeah.
want to see a Plagueis.
Ooh.
Or at least the predecessor to him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That would be
Yeah.
a good way because I'm pretty sure he was quote unquote immortal. I
Yeah.
mean, but like that would be cool. I don't know if he was around
Mm.
that long ago,
Yeah.
but
I
that
don't
would be a
know.
way to tie into maybe a little bit of the prequels, things like
Yeah.
that. Because I know
Yeah.
we're going to see Yoda. We've already seen him a little bit in the comics and things like that. So
Yeah. And yeah, it makes you think, like, will, because I mean, I don't know the species of Plagueis. If any of you guys have read the novel, you probably know way more. I have not read the novel. I've heard good things. So if any of you guys have read it, or yourself included, Yandur, I'm sure you might know. But I don't know how long he's been around. But you said something about him possibly being kind of like an eternal kind of figure, which would be interesting. And I mean, since this takes place, what is it, like 200 years before the
Mm-hmm.
High Republic. It's possible that it could lead into that. And imagine at the very end of the High Republic, you get something where it's like it kind of references, Palpatine when he was like, "Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?" But it's kind of the steps of him mentoring Palpatine.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, I know exactly where this is going." That'd be insane if that's how the High Republic ended. Kind of leading straight into the rise of kind of Palpatine as a pupil. That would be insane, man. Oh my
Right, because
gosh.
I know that
So
earlier on in the High Republic books, we aren't seeing any Sith, quote unquote, as far as I
yeah,
can get. We're mostly seeing like the Nihil and the Drengir, things like that.
yep,
So when they say the emergence of a dark power, that's what I'm thinking. The first real Sith emergence. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And I believe Tenebris was Plagueis Master. He was the Emperor in Legends prior, like in Darth Revan's time and things like that.
Okay.
So
What
we're
the
going
heck?
from Revan era, Old Republic to Darth Plagueis in one generation. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So one of them had to be along for a while. You know,
Yeah.
so it
So
was
you would think we're gonna see him at some point. At some point, maybe
yeah.
for
I mean,
sure.
I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. The
Yeah.
only biographical information we have on Plagueis is the year he died. We don't have the year of his birth.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, and that
Huh.
was 32 BBY, which is way later than where this will take place. But who
Yeah.
knows, you know?
But it's a possibility, something to kind of look forward to. And again, everyone on TikTok, we are live on YouTube. We're talking about the High Republic, as you may know. So yeah, if you guys want to tune in there, make sure you do subscribe. That would be great. But don't worry, I'm going to be bouncing back and forth. So if you guys have questions, feel free to post them there. My number one mod, Erica, I know you're in both, so you can always, if I'm missing a question that's really really important, just have folks. If I'm going, if me and Yandur are going on, just let me know, and then we can always get back to them. Another thing I will say, if there's something really pinnacle that you're trying to tell us, and we're overlooking it for some reason, you can always send in a super chat. That'll put you right at the top where we have to see it. So if there's something that you really want to say, you can always pay for that, and then I can kind of make sure I don't miss you if for some reason I'm going on and miss your question. So all right, so yeah, we're excited for the Acolyte, man. I'm excited to see how that turns out, and I agree, man. That's one thing I'm really anticipating, even though I'm excited for it all, but the Acolyte especially.
Yeah.
So let's dive into phase 2. And before we officially go into that topic of phase 2, I do want to say the High Republic, well, happy birthday to the High Republic, because it's been a 1-year anniversary since they had the big announcement of the kind of phase 1. They recently just had like the full panel of the authors come through, and all of them, kind of getting together and talking about what was going to happen into the next phase. So happy birthday to the High Republic. It's been 1 year. Holy crap. And what a year. There's been so much content that's come out, and there's still so much more, that's going to be on the table. So pretty cool, man. A full year. Feels longer than that, honestly.
It does.
But
It does. We must have been still in quarantine when that started.
yeah,
And
man.
man, it does. It feels like forever ago at this point, but only a year.
Yeah,
And
man.
shout out to them. I think they were calling it what? Project Luminous.
Yeah, they had an undercover name. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that was like they're illuminating this era, this like the dark ages of Star Wars, you know. So
Yeah.
that's why I really like the High Republic. We get to see all these different species of Jedi and all these different characters at once. Like the Light of the Jedi, for example. We went through so much character development. Like
Yeah.
each chapter was a different character, and it was a different story that they're experiencing. And
Yeah.
I think that's a cool change from what we're used to, where it's kind of like the Skywalker saga for 9 movies kind of deal.
Yeah.
Or like
Yep.
a whole show around one guy. I think it's cool to see like main characters, but have multiple of them, you know?
This world is so much more expansive than just one central family. So
Yeah.
as much as I love the Skywalkers, and I really do, and I'm really excited for the Skywalker saga for Lego. We're
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
streaming that thing, but still, it's for High Republic. It's been so refreshing. Like wow. And you said something too, where it's like even how some of the characters use the Force and their connectivity to the Force is so refreshing because it's different. Like, oh, I didn't know that, they could use the Force this way or have a, lightsaber whip. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's
One
pretty
of my
cool, man.
favorite things was they kind of explain that each character or each Jedi interprets the Force differently. Like some of them interpret the Force as a vast ocean that the deeper it gets, the more involved they get, or a big burning fire, and at the core of it, it's more hot than up here. Or
Yeah.
like they said, someone interpreted it as a bunch of overlapping, very many sized gears.
Yeah.
Just like this is all the interpretation and the metaphors that is the Force. It just goes to show we don't know nothing about the Force yet. As far
Yeah,
as the
man.
explanation, we know the characters who experience it. But to
Yeah.
go back and really show like the foundations of the teachings and everything is really cool to me.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. The like you said, man, character development, the storytelling thus far has been it's expanded your mind so much to where you're like, wow, this galaxy is huge, and even just your knowledge on the Force alone. Um, so with that, let's kind of take a look at phase two, what's come out and what's to come. So we're already in phase two, where I'm really anticipating phase three as well. But right now, January 12th, we have the Eye of the Storm #1, which was a comic. So if you guys are reading the comics, that's been out. We also have the High Republic Adventures, Galactic Bake Off Spectacular, which was a comic as well, which was January 19th. Do you have that one, Yandura?
I don't have that one that came out, but I do have 1 through I think 6.
Okay.
I'm in the book of pretty much the High Republic Adventures up until pretty decent. I think 6 issues or 7 around there.
Okay. So after that one, we have Midnight Horizon, which came out February 1st. I'm currently reading that halfway through. Shout out to Daniel Jose Older. Man, yeah, I'm really digging this book. That's all I got to say. I'm not finished with it yet, halfway through, but definitely that is a must read. You guys have to read it. And then after that, we had Battle for Starlight, which was a children's, kind of novel as well. That came out February 1st. Haven't read that one. And then Mission to Disaster, which is going to be coming out March 1st. That's a middle grade. So
it's also a Race to Crash Point Tower.
Yeah,
I think this is a young adult.
Was that Daniel Jose Older too?
Yes, yeah, that is.
Yeah, I thought so.
What I really like about these is there's so many different levels. Like it's not just a huge novel that is for adults or young adults. They're even making children's books and young readers, and that really is like, because I remember growing up reading a bunch of Harry Potter books because they were aimed at our age group back then. You know what I mean? And now they're like, now they got Star Wars books that are aimed at that, because I know a lot of the Star Wars books are just like this big from Legend, you know what I mean? And it's cool to kind of get another age group to experience this stuff.
Yeah, yep. And I think even the authors, they're like, yeah, we have the children's novels, but you guys, you could read it all. Y'all can read it all, man. And I think there's that, you said it, Yandura, where it's like there's literally something for everybody that's a part of this experience right now with the High Republic, which is so cool. And that's the way it should be, with Star Wars.
And I think that's kind of the direction they're going with Star Wars in general, because like all these new shows coming out, like I think the Acolyte's supposed to be like a murder mystery kind of thing, or I think, what is it? Andor is like a drama kind of like spy movie kind of vibe. They're doing all these different kinds of ones, and then Boba Fett was like the mob boss, the gangster movie, and I just feel like it's cool to differentiate. It's finding something for everybody. And one thing we need to understand as Star Wars fans, you don't have to love everything that comes out. Just love what you love and let people like what they like. You know what I mean?
Yes, you said if people could get that, we wouldn't even have to throw around the word toxicity. If people could be like, you know what, I can learn to agree to disagree respectfully, then we would be in so much good shape. But yeah, man, but that's the key to it, is like, and I think you and I talked about that even with the Book of Boba Fett, where it was like there were things we really enjoyed, there were things we were like, hey, they could have done this differently, but overall it was just fun Star Wars, stuff. But even if it's not for you, you could be like, you know what, that's cool. I'm glad somebody else enjoys it, but I have this other thing in Star Wars that I enjoy, and keep it moving. Don't steal that from someone else, their joy. It's the
Yeah,
fan.
yeah. Don't gatekeep. Don't
Exactly,
gatekeep.
exactly. But I think that there are some that are learning. I feel like the TikTok community especially has definitely changed the game. For the most part, I feel like there's been a lot of positivity, in the TikTok community. But I digress. So after that, we talked about Mission to Disaster, which was the middle grade that comes out March 1st, and then lastly, I believe for Phase 2 is the High Republic Tempest Runner, which also comes out March 1st. That's a script book, so I'm not sure what they mean by script book. Yeah,
Maybe it's like they were planning to do a movie or a show, but then they're like, "Here's this never came out. Here's the script, though."
yeah.
I don't know. I have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know. It says script book for that one, so. But we know that we have a couple things coming to us in March. So I'm really excited for all of that, man. Everything that we have thus far has been amazing with the High Republic. Um, I do agree, and I said this early on, when we first started the stream, that if they're going to do a new trilogy, I feel that it should be centered around the High Republic. Now, Yandura, this is where I want to hear from you on this. If they, let's say, really everything that's coming out is really to kind of gauge everyone's attention and kind of condition folks to, okay, this is the High Republic. We know what the High Republic is. Now they're getting us ready for the movies. But if they're gonna do a trilogy for the High Republic, how would you do it? How would you do it? How would you start it off?
That's tough. So I feel like we haven't necessarily got like the main character
Yeah.
of the High Republic, So with I relate the High Republic as almost like a proto version of the prequels. I love the High Republic because it reminds me of that feeling I got as a kid watching the prequels.
Yep.
Everything bigger than life. Everything was blown out of proportion as compared to the original trilogy was kind of nuanced in a way. It's like you see a lot of like internal structures. You're inside spaceships. You're
Yeah.
in this room. Whereas the prequels, you get this overview of Naboo and all its glory and grandiose size. I think
Yeah.
I think it's really cool to see those kind of things. And if I was to do it, I would almost do it similar to how they did the book, the Lost Tribe of the Sith. So instead of it going like chronologically 1, 2, 3, like where the first episode or the first movie left off, it goes right in the second one.
Yeah.
I'd maybe have a gap of
Ooh.
say 100 years, 200 years or something, and
Okay.
then it would be like in the second movie they'd be looking back and you see how everything's developed since then, because the High Republic lasted a while, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think to cover all that time, we don't need one cohesive person or one cohesive like storyline. We could see 2 generations later, in the main character in the first movie is the second movie is now the main character's great grandson or something like that.
Okay.
Bloodline kind of thing. I think
Okay.
that would be a cool idea to cover a lot more time and just
Yeah.
get a bigger picture. And then they could go on and release movies or shorts or videos or series in between to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
You know?
Dang. I think that would be really cool. I haven't read the book you were talking about, but at least the format, I'm like, that would be pretty sick. I
Mhm.
think, I mean, to go after that, I think, how would I do it? I mean, you know what? I'm not, so I have to say this. If any of you guys know who Caleb City is, I don't know if any of you guys have watched any of his videos on YouTube. He does a lot of funny skits. Used to do a lot of stuff on Vine back in the day. Anyway, funny dude, does a bunch of funny skits. There was one video he did that just was so true, and it was about manga and anime, and it was like how like writers are in the like director's room, where they're like, we literally made the perfect manga. The books are perfect. They're amazing. Like this is it. Like they made the perfect saga. It's there's nothing you need to change. It's awesome. And then you have a director that comes in. They're like, hey, we're gonna make it into a show. But people are like that wrote the books, the manga. They're like, dude, this is perfect. We got everything that we need. Like the mangas are amazing. Nothing we need to change. And then the directors are like, I think we could change a little something. I think we could probably twist something. And people are like, no, the manga is perfect. You literally have a blueprint. So I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I'm gonna be like, you know what? The High Republic, the books themselves are amazing. I feel like they should be used as the blueprint for how they're going to deliver the films. I think Light of the Jedi was kind of a perfect introduction into that time zone and also kind of the start to things. Because remember, in Light of the Jedi, it was like it starts off with this basically crash in hyperspace, and it's kind of like a rescue type of mission where it's your heart's kind of pumping and you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like there's a bunch of people that are gonna die. It's crazy, So I feel like that alone is pretty cool and kind of exploring more of hyperspace. You even get a little bit of seeds with the Santecas as well. So I would probably start it off, somewhat just using the books as the blueprint. You could even do book release order, which I think would be fine because Light of the Jedi. What was after that? Was that Into the Dark?
Into the Dark, I think.
Into the Dark, yeah. But
Yeah.
see, yeah, High Republic is so broad because you also have the comics, you have the junior novels, and then you have the main, bigger novels as well. So man, that's hard. I feel like Light of the Jedi in general should be the start of that. In the midst
Yeah.
of that, you could still, mix in some of the other things that we've gotten in like the comics, the junior novels, and have some of that stuff, kind of like from a different perspective of things happening in the film. Because again, I understand, and I'm sure Harry Potter fans or Lord of the Rings fans, those of you guys who have read the books first and then you watch the movies, you're like, the books are, everyone always says that the books are 10 times better, right? Because there's a lot of time and detail that you get to spend there. But when you're delivering a movie, it's like, hey, how can you deliver all of that information packed into maybe a 2 hour max, movie, sometimes less, so obviously some things have to get trimmed out or condensed to really get the point across. But I don't know, man. That's and yeah. I think release order would be cool because everything that's happened thus far is really built up so much as to what's going on. But then it's just like there's so much that's happening and yet to come. That the I think we still have phase 3 to get to where a lot of stuff is going to come to that conclusion. I even think for Daniel Jose Older, his comic series is about to come to an end in October, I believe. Um, so there's part of me that's like, yes, start with Light of the Jedi and a lot of things that have happened in phase 1, but then at the same time, we still don't know how this is all ended. We still don't know what's going to happen to all of these guys. So it's still like, I don't know. We still have to wait. But let me know what you think, Yendur. Everything that you've read thus far, do you think, like, again, kind of what you were saying before, like, hey, they should kind of give this a little space in terms of, like, the time of how they release it, or just do, like, release order? What do you think?
I think either way could work. I definitely agree with you when you say Light of the Jedi should be the start,
Yeah.
because that just felt like Phantom Menace vibes to me. It felt like the beginning because we get the introduction to all these different Jedi and their Padawan, like these duos, and then where they're at, and then by the end of it, it all kind of spearheaded to one conclusion, like one point. And I'm gonna be honest, that right there was one of the best Star Wars books I've ever read, if not one of the best books I've ever read.
Yeah,
And
man.
I just feel like that would have to be the beginning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It felt so like it was setting us up for greatness
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that point. And I'm gonna be real, the second book, it was good, but it just didn't have that, like, I don't know, it didn't have that same vibe, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
It didn't have that same grandiose feel. It kind of zeroed in on one character again.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's what really made the High Republic cool to me.
Yep.
Like, we get to see everybody. Like, the galaxy is so huge,
Yeah. I
and
agree.
that was really like one of my favorite parts about it. And I think it could follow the books, but I think also the books are already there. If you want that information,
Yeah.
like, it's already there. And like, if you're reading, say, like, the Rise of Skywalker novel,
Yeah.
if you're doing the audiobook, that's like 10, 12 hours long. They have to condense and cut out
Yeah,
all that stuff, like you said. I don't think we necessarily need every little detail that shows up in the books. So
yeah.
as long as you give us
The
part one,
main,
2, and 3,
yeah,
the real, like, I hate saying the real fans, but like the ones who love the lore,
yeah,
they will go
yep,
and find that on their own.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep,
So as long as you give that story from beginning to end, it could go either way.
yeah.
It could work either way.
I think you have a point there too, because again, if they're gonna do a film trilogy, it's like, yeah, I agree. Where not everything has to be stuffed into these films. If you want more of that lore, like Yandura was saying, then for those who are following and you're familiar with the High Republic, you know where to go to do that. But the movies essentially is for the broader audience, because you remember, you, whoever's a Star Wars fan, you're a Star Wars fan. Doesn't matter what level you are. You may not be reading the books. You may not be reading the comics, and that's fine. You might only be a movie watcher, and that's fine. You may only watch the stuff that's been released on Disney Plus. It doesn't matter what version or trilogy you're into. You are a Star Wars fan, and that's okay. But I think the one thing to keep in mind about the movies, I feel like the movies is for the broader audience, and I think that's where Yandura's point definitely is valid too. Where it's like, again, that the films, if they're gonna do a film trilogy, just know, and that's really speaking to a lot of us who are deeper into the lore. We might be nitpicky, but just know, remember, those films is for the broader audience. There's some
Hmm.
people who are there, they may not be reading books like us. They may not be into the lore as us, but if you can get that general message across, like this is what's happened in phase 1, 2, and 3 of the High Republic, then boom, that's for that broader audience to introduce them to this part of the galaxy thus far. So I think that is one thing I think that's wise to keep in mind, for like, as much as I'm ready for a High Republic, film trilogy, I think, I'm gonna have to keep my own hands back from being so nitpicky, because I know Yandura's right, where it's like, just know those films, that's gonna be for the broader audience. They're not gonna
Yeah.
stuff every little thing in that you might want. So I
And
agree with that.
one of the hardest pills for Star Wars fans, especially the long term ones, to swallow is we are not the target audience anymore. That's
Mm,
one thing we
yep,
got to understand. Is like I love the prequels so much because I was a kid when they came out,
yep,
and that's why I loved Jar Jar Binks back when I was a kid. That's why I loved
yeah,
the action packed battles and all this stuff that was going on and these huge scenes because I was a kid. I had that nostalgia, and
yeah,
then that's why kids these days love the sequels.
yep,
I have so many kids like in my videos. I'm like, "Who's your favorite?" I'm in lives, and I'll be like, "Who's your favorite Sith?" And they'll be like, "Kylo Ren," all
yeah.
day. Like, I know he's not technically a Sith, but you know
Right.
what but that's the thing is they were the target audience for the sequels, and then when they grow up and there's another trilogy, the
Yeah.
ones who love the sequels will probably hate the new trilogy because that's just the circle of life, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And if we could all just take a step back and be like, I enjoy this because it's Star Wars, but it doesn't have to be for me. It doesn't
Exactly.
have to compare to the original trilogy or the prequels.
Yeah.
It's just more, be
Yeah.
happy there's more. I remember a time where we didn't get anything Star Wars for like 10 years.
Yeah. Oh
you know
God, I remember that, man.
now it's like from Revenge of the Sith to the sequels. That was like a decade of nothing.
Yeah,
And
man.
to see The Force Awakens, even though it wasn't my favorite movie, even
Yeah.
though it got spoiled, the endings and stuff for me, I
Yeah.
was still so hype just to
Yeah.
see that it's back.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important at the end of the day. Even if when they go to the High Republic and everybody's like, "Oh, it ain't as good as the original trilogy, or it ain't as good
Yeah.
as the sequels," it don't matter. It
Yeah.
don't matter. There's gonna be people out there that think it's the best one out of all of them, and
Yeah.
those people are the target audience right there.
Exactly. You said it right, man. It's funny even thinking about the Force Awakens. I don't know if I told you this, but when Force Awakens came out, I worked at AMC theaters at the time, and that was probably the busiest month of my life working at the movie theater, because I mean the ending got spoiled for me too, unfortunately. Well, not ending. sorry, not the ending. There was Han Solo's death. Han
Yeah,
Solo's death
that
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 got
was a
spoiled for me.
meme. That was like a meme
Right.
going around.
Yeah.
And that's what started the whole. Now let's spoil
So
Star
mad.
Wars. It
Yeah,
was like
man.
it was like Han Solo died. That was the meme quotes
Yeah.
everywhere. And I was like, I don't even want to watch this if
Right.
he's
Like,
know
and I'm like, what is wrong with people that they would spoil that? Like, nobody likes you. Why would you do that? Why would you
because
spoil that?
the reason is they hated the movie and they wanted
Oh.
to take that joy from everyone else who didn't. You
Mhm.
know, it's
And
just
those are the same monsters today that we deal with online,
yeah,
right?
yep, exactly. There, yep,
Yeah, man. I think again, it's crazy to think like even the excitement though when that movie came out, it was just like, yeah, I remember like, wow, we're actually getting a Star Wars movie. This is crazy because it had been it was a long time. We didn't know when we were going to get another Star Wars movie, and this was pretty expansive. Now, one thing I do want to say for High Republic, I'm sure that there will be films, but this is one thing that I want to see for these films. I want it to feel like the world of Star Wars, but it also needs to feel different. It needs to feel older. It needs to feel a little outdated, if that makes
hmm
sense. Because this is, what, 200 years before the Phantom Menace. So
yeah,
I would say the technology, the hilts. There was something I was thinking about too. Like maybe visually they can make the hilts look a little wonkier or a little bigger or something. The technology that they use. Certain things need to just feel a little dated. You know, uh, kind of against from everything that we've seen thus far, where it kind of gives that feel of like, oh, this is an older time that we're stepping into, not like, you know what I mean. I just feel like the technology and everything.
right.
That's one little detail that I would add in, where I'm like that needs to be there. Where visually, yes, you could tell us this is 200 years before Phantom Menace, but I also want to feel that when watching it. How do you grasp that? What now? I want to hear from you on that. What are some things that you would add? Like, this is another way they can really make the audience feel like this is an older time period. How would you do it?
Right. One of the things I'd want them to get back to is this is a kind of a weird thought, but comparing the prequels to the sequels, the way they spoke. So back
Mm,
then they almost spoke a little more proper. You know what
yeah,
I said? In like a sense. They like spent like they sent this way that was like more, I don't know how to even explain it. It was almost
yeah,
like they were speaking old English as compared to like modern day American slang or things like that.
gotcha.
Like
Yeah,
when Poe's talking, it sounds like he's just a normal guy in today's age. Where we go
yeah,
back to Padme talking in Phantom Menace or Obi-Wan, they kind of had this elegance to the way they
yeah,
talk. So if we're going back another 200 years,
yeah,
making that like even more so. And one
yeah,
of the things that I think is kind of opposite of what you said, you want kind of like the technology to seem more outdated and archaic.
yep,
I kind of in what I think we've seen in the time we've done it is like back then was the height of the Jedi, you
yep,
know? And so we're seeing these crazy lightsabers and we're seeing these like elegant designs because they're at the height. So I almost feel like the technology peaked there and then
yeah.
slowly started to decline once we get to the
Ah,
prequels and then we get to the original trilogy where half of the Jedi's teaching and their legacy is already lost.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay, so
Yeah,
you would almost do it in reverse.
yeah, I would be like
Okay.
the advanced technology was back then, and then
Yeah.
we lost it all over the dark ages of the 200 years in between it, and by the fall of the Republic, it's all but gone, all but forgotten at that point, where there's only Luke, you know what I
Interesting.
mean, and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and Yoda, and then by the sequels, they barely even know how to fight with lightsabers comparable to the prequels, you know? It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's declined the practice, the uppity
Mm.
kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I like that. I see. I almost like that better. Now, but I still feel there's something that needs to feel older, and that could be like clothing.
Yeah, maybe the
Something.
droids.
The
The droids with like
droids,
the vehicles
yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, that's what it
I think
is.
that could
Okay.
be a lot better.
Because that's more of the technology kind of a thing. So I think that's a perfect element. I think that's it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got
I
a
agree.
super chat. I have to say this. Jedi MC is the best. Boom.
Yeah, yeah,
You're welcome.
they're all spamming my chat right now.
Oh,
That's like,
really?
yeah, they're all mad because I shut down my old server and now they're like attacking me, bro.
Why y'all attacking my boy, man? Leave
I
him
told you.
alone.
So just to warn you, mods, be on your game because
Oh, okay.
yeah, I've had to block like 20 people already.
What? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we got our mods here in the chat. There, we'll be good. Um, yeah, we got our mods. They're on it. So I really like. I kind of like that, man. That is kind of cool to kind of think. You nailed it too. Where High Republic, this is the height of the Jedi, so it would
Mhm.
make sense. Like, there's also a part of me that's like, you're gonna see lightsabers, but not that much. Even if you're reading the High Republic, like at least for me, like the moments of the novelization, you do kind of like see lightsaber action, but it's not that intensive. There's other things happening where you're not gonna have that much. Maybe some training simulations. Maybe sometimes when they're fighting off the Drengir or deflecting,
Right.
blasts and stuff. But there's not like crazy lightsaber fights, and maybe there's reason for that. When you have the height of the Jedi, you're talking about these guys they're at their peak right now. This is crazy. You know what I mean? So I think that would almost be an interesting element too. Whenever we think of Star Wars, a lot of the things that come to mind is lightsabers. But what if that's an element that's not it's not taken away, but it's not as prominent? I guess would be an interesting way of doing that. But how do you make up for that as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that would be an interesting thing to see.
I remember in this is all legends, but prior I went back to the first chronological book. They
Yeah.
didn't even have lightsabers. They fought with
Really?
swords, like actual swords. So
Wow.
and that was like 10,000 BBC or something like or before BBY
Okay.
10,000. So that's like way before we could even did the old Republic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So taking that into consideration, I think it's kind of dope to be able to see maybe how the Jedi started creating lightsabers,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
like because I read originally they were called like proto sabers, and they had to have like a backpack
Yeah.
almost, right? And they
Yeah.
were connected with like a wire or a hose, and that's how they
Yeah.
made the lightsabers. And nowadays, I seen on YouTube that somebody actually made one of those.
I've seen that too, man. Like, what? That's
You know,
insane.
but yeah, I'm like, when are we gonna see like the predecessors to all this, or at least
Yeah.
hear about it? But the issue with that is, I think they even had full lightsabers and everything back in Old Republic.
Yeah. That's
You know,
true.
so by High Republic, I feel like they got it completely figured out. You know,
Yeah. And I agree with you. Maybe that's where you see the best of the best is during the height of the Jedi, which would make sense. Where their hilts and lightsabers, all that stuff is, it's top notch compared to everything that's kind of been trickled down into years
hmm
later. Might not be. I kind of like that. I really like that idea, and I kind of hope that they do that. Now let's transition into what have been your favorite moments of the High Republic. I'll share first. I'll share one. I think in the previous book, before Mid-Height Horizon, the moment where we see what happened to Loden Greatstorm, I mean, it was just heart-wrenching. It was,
I haven't seen it yet, so
you haven't got
no
it?
spoiler. I got up to where he was,
Oh,
where he's lost. I haven't
okay,
seen.
okay,
I
okay.
got the book though. I got it.
Okay. So,
I knew it was bad.
yeah, I could go on without spoiling anything. All I can say
Okay,
is
yeah.
you get, it took me back to my childhood where you get again, it makes me think of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, just master and apprentice. I enjoy those moments between,
hmm
Loden and Bel Zettifar. Bel Zettifar, he has had some amazing character development. Number one, I got to say, to see more melanin in Star Wars. Jedi. Man, thank you.
Yeah,
I just think
honestly,
it's pretty cool, man.
a lot of the main characters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah, man.
I'm about that for real.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
look at the old or look at the original trilogy. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's even gender was an issue in that. You know, like
We
it's
had Lando
Chris.
and Mace. That was
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm seeing. And then it was Leia too. Like it was
Yeah.
just nothing but white dudes in
Yeah.
the whole trilogy. And it's like it's time to
Change that up. Yeah.
change that up. And
Yeah.
I remember I was playing Lego Star Wars. I forget which one, but it was like they did a little nuance in that. It was that scene where Yoda's dying and he's like, there is another. And then he's like Luke's like, it's Leia. And he's
Yeah.
like, and Yoda's like, oh, smart with the force you are. And he goes, no, she's the only other girl that I've ever met.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Yoda rolls over and he goes, fix that, we must.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's just awesome to see more culture in Star Wars now. And I think that's a good direction for it to go because it was needed.
Yeah.
It was needed. It made the original trilogy feel a little dated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just the High Republic. I mean, all the covers, you know,
Yeah, man.
it's how it should be.
You
It's how
see
it
the
should be.
diversity. And you will have those individuals that are going to be like, oh, Star Wars is woke and blah, 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 blah. But then I have to say no, because you think about Star Wars, it literally is one of the most diverse pieces of storytelling that we have, that we've had for years. You think of all the alien races and species that we have. You know what I mean? It would only make sense that you would have more of that diversity, even from the humanistic standpoint, where I'm like, yeah, man, they're killing it, and it brings out, for me, it's exciting, and then also as my girls grow older, that's something fun for me to pass down to them and say, hey, this is something that we can all enjoy, and this is something where you can see. It's important that you see yourself in the heroes that you're reading about. I think that's great,
Yeah,
man. So
exactly. I think it's very important, especially for the next generation, to see their representation in the media that they love.
Yeah.
You know? And
because when I was a kid, we played Star Wars in the neighborhood. No matter what, I was always given Mace Windu. I couldn't be, Luke Skywalker, because you know what I mean. But now it's like, no, it's not like that. You get to you can like who you like, but also there are other characters that we can relate to and be like, hey, that guy looks like me. That's pretty cool, and it's a part of this story, and he's one of the main characters. That's freaking amazing. So, yeah, man, I think those are some of my favorite moments. But I don't know if you answered the question yet. What's some of your favorite moments from things that you've read, rather be novelization or comics, in the High Republic so far?
Honestly, this is a really funny moment, but it's been my favorite moment in the High Republic so far. Now, granted, I have not read enough of the books yet. I've read 3 plus some of the comic series, so I'm a little behind. But Loden literally throwing his Padawan off a cliff. For some reason, I'm like, that's awesome. How you gonna just like, you got this?
Yeah.
It's like that idea of like teaching your kid how to swim.
Yeah, just throw.
You know what I mean?
Swim or sink. That's it.
But then there's somebody in the pool if they start going under to lift them up. You know how they had the other Jedi to catch him.
Yeah.
And then later when it comes full circle and he has to jump out of the starfighter.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he's when you're forced to live in that moment with your training, that's amazing to me. It all came back full circle later in it, and I'm just like, that's Star Wars right there for me.
I love that moment. Yeah, you must. Which novel are you reading right now of High Republic?
I finished. Shoot, I got them all in here. I'm so bad with names. I'm gonna be real with that.
No, so am I.
The last one I finished was the second one, so Into the Dark.
Okay.
Then I read
Fallen Star. That's the one I'm talking about. Do you have that one?
I think I have it, but I haven't started reading yet. The last one I read was the young adult novel with the the saber whip.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that who was the main character? Was that
Rising
shoot,
Storm. Do you have Rising Storm?
I have two right now. I have
Okay.
two, and I can't remember the names.
Okay. Yeah, because there's something I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll just have to have this conversation another time because there's a lot of things that have yeah, just all I can say without spoiling anything, just prepare for heartache.
Yeah, I
That's it.
knew there was gonna be. As soon as they captured him, I was like, oh, this ain't gonna end well.
I mean, that's only the start of it, man. There's
It gets worse.
just prepare for heartache. That's all I gotta say, man.
Oh, that's
So
exactly why I love Star Wars. I'm
yeah,
telling you.
man. So yeah, you're in for a good treat for sure. So going on, yeah, we both talked about a lot of our favorite moments thus far. Let's talk about notable species in the High Republic. There's one that when I was reading it, I was trying to figure out. You know the guy that was in Thor Ragnarok, the Rock guy.
Yeah.
He kind of
Uh,
came to mind, but he's not like that at all. But this guy's name is Godi. So Godi was a Venetian male who acted as the navigator of the transport starship vessel alongside the pilot Lex Giesi and co-pilot Affy Hollow. So his
yeah, I
appearance,
remember those characters, and then
yeah,
Geode as well.
yeah, Geo. So sorry, yeah. Did I say Godi?
Geode,
Geode.
Geode, yeah, he's just a rock.
Geode. Yeah, he's just a rock, literally.
I think
And
we saw a picture of him in this series as well. A
yeah,
little cameo.
he's literally just a rock. And when you read about him, you're just like reading the book without seeing any pictures. In my mind, I'm like, wait, no, he's literally just a rock. It's Star Wars is weird. Star Wars
I had
is
to
so
look
weird.
it up. I
Yeah,
had to look it up for real.
yeah. So that's a notable species. I was like, okay, this guy, they're literally rock. They literally got rock people out here in Star Wars, man.
And
What
I do
about
want
you?
to say one of the most underrated characters that I know absolutely nothing about
Yeah.
is this man Court.
Oh yeah,
He's just
yeah,
such a cool character, and
yeah.
there's a Sith that has his same helmet in the Old Republic. I do not know his name, but
Really?
yeah, I've seen it. He's got a full set of armor type.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
It
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
just like that. I'm telling you, and I'm like,
yeah,
is that a callback?
yeah. Interesting. I don't know much about that. Yeah, and see, yeah, man, High Republic. That's why it's so cool because it's. I think if you're reading the comics, you're getting something that I'm not getting right now because I'm not on. I started reading like maybe one of like the very first issue, but I'm so behind on the comics. So there's a lot of stuff that you're seeing that I'm not. Versus on the end of like the novelization, there's a lot of stuff I'm seeing, and reading where I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. But there's something for everybody. But again, that I've seen that guy around, but I'm like, damn, there's still some characters that I'm like, oh yeah, I know very little bit about, because of just
I don't
reading
know
kind
if
of the
you I
novels.
don't know if you've read the High Republic Adventures yet, but literally
No,
his words are just they're just not even English characters.
really.
It's just a little like just little relics and symbols. We don't even know what he says. It's kind of similar to Geode in that sense. It's like
Yeah,
you don't know anything about him, but for some reason you really like him. It's
yeah,
the
yep,
mystery aspect, and they can add that kind of cool, just random stuff because it still fits. Like here's an
yeah.
example of some of the text he says. I don't know if you'll be able to see it well.
It's kind of just like
Yeah,
mumble jumble.
it looks like the Star Wars font.
Yeah,
It looks like Mandoa almost,
yeah.
or like
All right,
something like
Besh.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks random, and it's just like they can
What is he
understand him,
saying?
but we can't. Similar to how they can understand the droids, but we're like, I don't know what R2 just said. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We can
Yep.
infer, and I think that's a part of like that old school Star Wars nuance that these authors are really recapturing.
Yeah. Interesting, man. Any other people from the comics, like race wise, species wise, that you would say like this is a notable species that you were unfamiliar with? Because I feel like reading the novels, man, I am always checking my phone constantly where I'm like, okay, what species is this? What alien race is this? What is happening?
Not as much with the comics because you get the visual with it, right? But when I was reading the first two novels, you'd see a name of a species, and I'm like,
what the hell is
can't
that?
visualize it. I can't like he could look like anything. So I'm going to Wikipedia real quick. I'm going to Google Images, like Google show me this guy, and like I was like, okay, that's not what I was expecting, but now I can fully visualize it. And I think that's cool. We have those resources because I imagine people back in the day reading Star Wars novels or Legends, they didn't even have access. They just had to imagine what it looked like.
Yeah.
You know, it was all in their mind's eye where we could Google it and see, oh, that's what he wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of helpful today because I'm like, man, I find with the novels, I'm constantly going back and like researching and trying to see like, okay, what does so and so look like? But I mean, it's fun. It's fun. And I'm trying to get onto the comics. I know I'm more of the graphic novel guy. So like when it's all together in one book, I like that. But the single issues are still fun too. But I like getting me a nice graphic novel. So I think that's coming out in October. I know Daniel Jose Older's next graphic novel is. So I will be copping that.
One of the best things, at least from the High Republic Adventures comics, is in every series they would include something called a galactic data file.
Yeah.
So this one, for example, was the map of the galaxy at that time. And then in another series, we'd get a data file that showed like the progression of, I don't know, the Padawans or like the ships and things like that. Just like random little things thrown in there. And kind of help give you that context, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that was really cool of them to add. Every time I got one of these, I was like, what's the data this time? What's that little galactic data file? I picture it's on like a holocron or something, you know, and they plug it in. And yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff. It's just those little extras that give a lore that elevates it.
I tried to zoom in on this. Can you guys see I feel like you guys can see that well.
Yeah, I can see.
Avar Chris, I think wait, where's that one guy at? I don't know where he was. He was the one that you showed earlier. I think is his name Court?
Court, yeah.
Court, yeah. There he is. Avar Chris, I think I'm really enjoying her character too. You know, she's obviously kind of a lead kind of character for sure. And the way the Force is described with the way she uses it, it's like almost like a song. So I feel like when we see the film or TV series, whatever they do, and we see some of these characters, I want musical numbers. I feel like they have to have musical numbers or something for Avar Chris to really give that nuance to how, you know, she expresses and uses the Force, because she says it's like a song, you know, to her. So and see, I think that would be an interesting way to do the film or whatever they're going to do, is really show the distinctive differences between all of these Jedi and how they use the Force and how it works through them. And Avar Chris is a perfect example of that, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying about they interpreted it maybe like a deep ocean or like a burning fire or a winding tree. You know, that each one of them kind of feels the Force in their own unique way. And I think that's really like interesting because that gives a bigger picture on what the Force actually is.
Yeah,
it's a really cool image. You should link me that at some point.
Yeah, no, I can drop that. I'll message to you right after this too. Now, there's one thing. I don't know if you've read about this yet, and it's not really spoiling. It's kind of semi-spoiler, but not heavily. But I do want to mention it, you know, since we're looking at everything in this phase, everything that's kind of happened thus far. And this is a question that I'm posing really to anyone that's read High Republic stuff. But here's the question. What is causing the Jedi to not be able to use the Force? That is a question. And really, that's not a terrible spoiler, because I think you already know Loden. He's been captured, so you've got that far.
Yeah.
Now, but do you know where he is? Do you know where he is?
I don't know. Well, I don't know where, but isn't it? I can't. It's been a while. I read that book when it first came out, so I could use a refresher a little bit.
Okay.
But it's like
actually, you know what? No, I lied, because you know that you know he's been captured, but I don't think you've gotten to the book where it reveals where he is. So I'll be quiet
Yeah,
for
I don't
now.
think
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yet.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But
So, but
last
there's
time
some. Yeah, no, go ahead.
last I remember was they were in that station that transported them to the Drengir homeworld,
Yep.
and they thought the one guy was dead the whole time, and really he was just moved to. They sent him with light speed to the Drengir homeworld, and they found him, and he was like savage at that point, and like his mind was basically like brainwashed,
Yeah.
and then they brought him back and everything. Yeah, that's where I was at last.
And doesn't that give you vibes of Echo? A
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't
It
think of
totally
that.
made me think
Yeah,
of Echo.
but on the left of your image here is the
Yeah.
book, the one highlighted in purple with Vernestra Rowe.
Oh yeah.
That's the one that I read.
Okay.
It's got Vernestra Rowe and also another character whose name escapes me.
I'm trying to see where book is that.
There it is on the left in the middle.
Oh, right down here.
Go that or left. Yeah, right there at the top by Yep,
Oh,
right there.
gotcha. Yep.
That's the other one I read. What's the name of that one more time?
That one is Jedi Courage.
Yeah, I read that one as well. That was actually the last one I read.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I read Light of the Jedi, Into the Dark, and then that one.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So you kind of went in a good little release order for these.
And
So
I
yeah,
need to do this one still. Escape from or Race to Crash Point Tower.
yeah, that's another Daniel Jose Older.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Daniel.
Man, and I didn't even know about. Oh, this is something else. That's not. I don't know if that's High Republic or not. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. So yeah, there is something that happens, and once you get to that point, we can kind of discuss this more when we talk more about High Republic. But it's not the Drengir because we know that they can kind of mess with the Jedi and kind of get in their minds and like kind of just devour everything. At
And
least
the
that we know
poison
of.
as well.
Right. So at least that we know of this point that's happened thus far, it's not the Drengir, and it really makes me wonder, like, what is it? Particularly, I don't know if it's a device or if it's something that's happening with the Force. It's really interesting.
Right.
But that's a crazy moment that's happened thus far in Phase 2.
I remember the relics had
Yeah.
something to do with it. On the on the ship that sent them to the Drengir world, there was these relics,
Yeah.
and they contained evil like Sith spirits almost.
Ooh.
I think
Okay.
maybe that has something to do with it. And then they took them back to the temple.
What? Okay.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
what the heck? I didn't know about that.
It was
the
in
heck?
Into the Dark, I believe. And then
Okay.
towards the end, you remember there was those like statues almost. And then one of them like touched the temple or the statue and basically got possessed by the dark side, quote unquote.
What? Oh wait, this was Into the Dark?
Yeah, it was.
Why don't I remember this?
It was towards the end.
Okay.
It was like his master turned on him at one point. It was
Okay.
like brainwashed. It was like he was like at one point he like touched it and then he was like sucked into the relic.
I
And
think
they
I
had to-
remember that.
And they had to find a way. They transported him back and then put him at the like way under the Jedi temple, which I guess was built on a Sith temple prior to that.
Wow. Okay, I remember a little bit of that. It's been a while since I've listened because I did audiobook version for that one.
Yeah, I did as well. I did too.
Okay, wow, what the heck? So you might be onto something for
Yeah, I think it might have something to do with where those originated from.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I also thought that Nihil, this is just a theory,
Yeah.
but Nihil, I think our predecessor or like the aftermath of Nihilus from the Old Republic.
Yeah. Yep.
Darth Nihilus, and then you just take off the last half of the words, it's Nihil.
Interesting. So you
You
think
know,
they have possibly some connection to him?
I think they do, or they could, because it could be like I don't know. They're venerating him as their god. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can't remember their leader's name off of the top of my head.
The
Um,
Dringir.
no, not the Dringer, the Nihil leader, the Eye.
Markion Rowe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know he's like crazy. He's like
Yeah.
like trained similar to how Thrawn was.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
he could fight anybody. He could do all this stuff. It makes me think he's like a descendant of maybe a Sith.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that they don't necessarily we haven't heard like of Sith, but maybe a bloodline carried through. They make
Yeah.
like because why would they name their names so similar?
I don't know, man. But I mean, that's another theory that could really come to life, in this next phase for sure. Another thing about Martian Rowe is he's not a chiss, right? Um,
No, they actually showed his. I don't want to spoil it, but we see him, and I
ah,
believe he's human.
he's human?
I believe so.
Huh. Because doesn't he have like gray skin or something?
Let me double check because I
Long
swear
hair, gray
I've
skin.
seen him.
I know in other fan art, I've seen depictions where he almost looks like a chiss, but I don't think that's ever been revealed that he was. So I don't know.
Maybe
I
he's
was,
not human. I swear I've seen it. I've seen him somewhere. His face, and it was canon to the High Republic era.
yeah,
Maybe it was on the databanks or something. I don't know.
maybe. Um, Interesting, man.
Maybe he's not human, but he's definitely like. I don't think he's Chiss
Yeah,
because Chiss have don't they have red eyes?
they do have red eyes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think his eyes were normal, but now that you mention it, I do think his skin was not like human.
Yeah, I think it's like a gray, bluish texture, uh, which is interesting. But yeah, his character, you get a yeah, man. Um, he's interesting. He's interesting, and the further along you go, like when you get into some of the novels, you see just how strategic and crazy Markian Rowe has become with certain events that have happened thus far. But High Republic is killing it. I do want to say one thing about Yoda. This is one thing that I wasn't really disappointed with, but I feel that they're using him well. And I think even the authors would probably agree with this. They get to create all these other characters and have a blast, do what they want. The main thing with Yoda's kind of untouchable. And I feel like there's a lot of people that don't really understand that from the creative standpoint. At least these are things that I've heard where it's like you could have him in there, but in terms of lore type of things, it's very minimal what you can do with him based on their privileges to work with the character. And
Yeah,
that
I
and
think they're
that's
saving that for like the big show moments or the movie
yeah.
moments.
Yep.
Like it's like coming from George Lucas in the beginning, purposely wanted him to be mysterious and
Exactly.
unknown. And I
Yep.
think they really want to carry that on.
Yeah. There's something going on right now. This is okay, it's a semi spoiler, but not really, because it's a little fact that you'll know once you get further into the novels. But right now, Jedi Master Yoda, Grand Master Yoda, sorry, he's like missing right now. He went like not on a retreat, but he like went off somewhere off world from where he was, and no one really knows where he is. I think he went like on almost seems like he went on like a spiritual type of thing or some type of training thing, but no one really knows where he is at this moment. And there's a lot of younger Padawans who are kind of, really wishing he was present and back, because there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now. I find that to be an interesting moment where Yoda's kind of just, in general, when you think about the High Republic, he is just a character that's there, but he doesn't have to be um, as present. And you know what it really makes me think of is Luke Skywalker in this current time zone of like the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba
Yeah,
Fett, where
like he's out there.
he's there, but he's not like front and center. You know what I mean? Because he's an OP character. He doesn't always need to be kind of front and center. And I even have to say this again. This is kind of off track of what I was saying, but with Luke Skywalker, he kind of became that essentially in general. When you read other trilogies, I finished the Aftermath trilogy, and that was fantastic. Luke Skywalker is mentioned a few times in that trilogy, but you still get that vibe of Luke Skywalker even after the original trilogy. He wasn't always the prominent role after that. Like he was off doing his own thing. He was going to go look for other Jedi relics and all that stuff. Jedi text, he was out doing his own thing where the focus was on other things happening in the galaxy. So I thought that was still interesting too, even with things that we're watching now where it's like, oh yeah, Luke wasn't even, after that, after, the original trilogy, he kind of still became this legend, so to speak, and wasn't kind of the center focus so much, which was interesting. So
yeah, I think it's cool. I remember in the first two novels, Yoda was mentioned, but he's like, where is he? What's he doing?
yeah.
I will say we get a little bit of answers in here.
Really?
We do
Oh,
see
you
him.
lucky dog.
We do see him. So check these out. Check out the High Republic Adventures because we get some Yoda, not a whole lot, but we do get some battles. We do get some I will say the art seeing a younger Yoda is weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
He has more of, instead of like an old man face, he's got more of like a defined, he's not necessarily like youthful.
Yeah.
But, he's like a middle-aged man look to it.
Middle-aged Yoda.
Still got that little bit of sense of humor.
Yeah.
But it's just a little different,
Interesting. Man, yeah, see, but that's the beautiful thing about the High Republic is no matter where you're reading, you're gonna get a little something different. Because I feel like in the novels, Yoda's there, but it's not prominent, but it's fun. In the comics, what Yandura is saying, you do get some moments. It might not be as prominent, but there are still some of those fun moments where you're seeing a little bit of that younger Yoda and kind of what he was up to during that time, which is pretty cool, man. So other than that, man, yeah, phase 3, we're quickly approaching that as we get into the fall. Yandura, before we close, what are some of the other things that you're really excited for in terms of the High Republic? I know for you, you're like, well, I got to get through my reading list first. But aside from that, what are some of the things you're really excited for High Republic?
I just want to see how it pieces together. I want to see. The whole thing about Star Wars for me is I want to fill in the blanks. There's we got this, but what's always intrigued me is the in between times.
Yeah,
and I think that's where the shows are coming in. And can you explain to me a little bit more about what they have planned for Phase 3?
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as I know, for early things, I know graphic novels are going to be hitting us for sure for Phase 3. I believe the beginning of fall. Actually, here, let me look that up. I think I just had it up last night, and I think they have it written out for what we expect for High Republic. Star Wars High Republic. I was just reading it last night. Where is it at? So Eye of the Storm. Whoa, when does that come out? Okay, I gotta share this because I'm like, yo, what the heck? I don't know if you're reading this, Yandura, or not, but this looks pretty crazy. So it looks like there's some other comic stuff that's going to be coming, and I guess this is Eye of the Storm. So that's probably going to be.
That's him right there.
Yeah, Marky and Rowe. Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. He's definitely not a human, but
yeah, and he's got Loading Great Storm's lightsaber. Man,
I remember he had that.
Issue number 13. I don't know what issue are you reading? Do you have the most current issue of High Republic?
Yes. Let me see. I got the actual physicals comic books right over here. I got the graphic like the compound of all of them, but it's a lot easier to tell with the actual comics. So it goes up to 8.
Oh, okay. So we have number 13.
Okay, so I
When is
must be
that
a
one?
little behind then.
No, I don't know if this one's actually I don't know if this is released yet. Maybe not.
Oh, I think that's two different ones. There's the High Republic
And then the High
comic
Republic
series,
Adventures.
and the High Republic Adventures are the ones
Yep.
I have.
Oh,
So
okay, you're
there's
in
our
Adventures.
Adventures one right there.
Oh, this is old. I think it's old. Yeah, because this stuff's come out already, right?
Really? Scroll up to that comic right above it.
This one?
High Republic Adventures. That looks like a book, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's 2021 annual. So that's already come out. That one's out. I don't
Wait,
know about
I don't think I have that one.
this one here.
What issue is it?
2021.
Yeah, because usually they'll say in the top left corner, issue number 8.
This one's the
Yeah.
annual. It's the annual, so it's almost like a special,
Uh,
thing. Yep.
yeah, it must
So
already be out. Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
get that one.
that one's 2021. I think I've seen this one around, The Edge of Balance. That's the manga Daniel Jose Older did, or is
Nice.
that coming out? Is that coming? No, I think this one's already out too, right? Pretty sure.
I'm not
Pretty sure
sure
that one's
about
out.
that one.
Yeah, that's a manga. That one's out. So this is what I can tell you. What I do know. This is what I do know. Um, I know this much that for the fall, I know Daniel Jose Older, from what I was reading last night, his comic book series is going to come to a conclusion. So
Mhm.
if you've been reading, I think it may be Adventures. Is he the author for those? For the
Yeah,
ones that
yeah.
you have? Okay, so the ones you're reading, I think the story for that is coming to a conclusion this fall in a graphic novel. So I know that
Oh,
much for phase 3. Um, as far as like the other comics novelization, I'm not sure of what. I mean, we looked at a couple things that are to come, but as far as like going into other things after that, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do know certain pieces of the comics are going to be wrapping up this fall, which is going to be crazy. And that means I got a lot of stuff to catch up on. Or you could probably catch us up on some stuff, in some of the streams too, because I'm like, yeah,
oh,
comics.
definitely,
I'm behind, dude. I'm so behind when it comes to the
definitely.
comics.
Honestly,
But
if you're gonna do the adventures, I'd recommend just getting the book. This is all 8 of them, just
yeah,
condensed. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep,
I like having the physicals just because, like, for the collectible, I got
yeah,
the hoarder in me. But,
yep.
like, if you just want it for the story, this is the way right here. And
Yeah,
I'm pretty
man.
sure you can actually look these up on YouTube
Yep,
and, like, see,
yep.
like, breakdowns. So if you just wanted to consume it for the content itself, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a really easy way to do it as well. And you can save yourself, what, these are $4 a pop. So
yeah. That's not bad at all. Um, yeah, man. Lots of fun stuff in terms of High Republic. Guys, thank you so much for watching with us. Seriously, man, it's been so fun. Just it's crazy thinking about. I think the High Republic. One of the things I love the most. It definitely takes you back, and it definitely it's before the prequels, in terms of the time frame, but it still gives you that same feeling, which is like I
mhm.
love, everything before, everything that we've known thus far. It's really fun to kind of have that feeling again as a kid. It makes us, adult people feel like kids again, and that's always nice.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
nostalgia. That's what Star Wars does best. I
yeah,
swear.
man. Any closing thoughts from you, Yandura?
I don't know. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next. You know,
Yeah, man.
everything Star Wars has given us thus far, it just compiles and compiles into this bigger story, and I can't get enough. I can't wait to see where we are 10 years from now with Star Wars. You know,
Oh my gosh, dude, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be
yeah,
virtual reality.
literally, we'll watch it happen around us with the
Right.
headphones on. They'll have
I'm in the
glasses on by
story. You're in the story now.
yeah, you get to be a Jedi, just like living out his life in the story. Like,
Oh man, imagine that. That's gonna be insane.
sheesh.
Yeah, man. High Republic, everything is amazing. Make sure you guys go get the books, read the comics. There's a lot of good stuff, and it's been fun. Hearing both of our perspectives because kind of essentially me and Yandu are reading on two different spectrums of things. Where he is getting a lot of the content that's coming from the graphic novel portion of the High Republic. I'm reading a lot of the novelization. He is too. But he's gotten more knowledge more on the comic end than I do. And I'm reading a lot more of the novelization, which is great and it's fun. like in this stream today, where we kind of get to meet in the middle and be like, so let me catch you up on what's happened. Like this was happening on this end, this was happening here. It's pretty
I need to
fun.
read
So,
another book. I need to know what happened to Loden Greystorm.
oh man,
I need to
yeah.
know.
But I
I
mean,
know it's
yeah,
not good.
yeah. Just prepare for heartache, man. That's all I gotta say.
I'm ready.
Prepare for
I
heartache.
need it, you know.
Yeah, man. Guys, I posted a link in the chat to my Etsy shop. So if you guys want to be sure to check that out, that would be amazing. Make sure you guys go buy you some merch. We got our t-shirts. The bounty bundle is free shipping. So if you guys want to grab that, that is free shipping for that. T-shirts, stickers, bags. Go grab whatever you like, or you can get the whole bundle and get it all. So be sure to go and check out my Etsy store. That would be amazing. And if you're watching on TikTok, go to my link tree. And click on the Etsy shop link. That'll take you straight there. To everyone else tuning in, hello, I see you. And then other than that, yeah, just be sure to subscribe. Our goal for this year is to get to 10K on YouTube. It's a big goal, but we can definitely make it happen. Yandura, where can people find you at as well?
You can find me on any platform, just Yandura across the board. Help me get my YouTube subscribers to 1,000. I'm chilling about like 750. I see you, Dadalorian. You got it figured out. I need to figure something out on there. But yeah, just check me out on there. Go to my TikTok or my Instagram bio and just check out like my link in bio. I got a song dropping March 11th, and I got big ideas for this song. It's gonna go crazy. It's gonna go crazy. I'm telling you. And I think that you'll all enjoy it. I put a couple Star Wars references in there, just for the real ones, you know. And if you go ahead and pre-save that on Spotify, DM me a screenshot, and I'll shout you out on Instagram. I got like 3,500 followers on there. So let me know if you want to support. Also, merch coming soon. I know you got your merch set up. I'm still in the process, but
hey, let me get one of them Yandura hats. Let's go.
Oh yeah, you know, we might have to do some trades. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll figure something out there. I gotta get my Shopify together. I gotta get a couple more designs.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
But yeah, it's coming soon, and I'm just happy to be here, man.
Heck yeah, man.
Happy to do this Wednesday.
Go follow my guy. I follow him on all the platforms. Same as myself. I'm on Twitter. I feel like my Twitter is like, it sucks, but I'm learning Twitter, and the best way that I've been performing on there is like commenting on other people's stuff and kind of engaging with folks a little bit more. So if you guys are on Twitter and you want to follow me there, it's _Dadalorian_. There you go. You can follow me there, but follow me on all platforms. On Instagram, I post a lot of fan art. So yeah, make sure you guys go follow both of us on all of these platforms. Yandura, you have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, Yandura on YouTube. Right now it's just mostly my TikToks, but I used to do a little bit of streaming, and I'm gonna slowly get into some long form content as well for the people that want to see that.
Excellent.
Yeah, just outreach, you know. On all platforms, you can reach the most eyes, most ears.
Yep, for sure. Guys, this has been amazing chatting with you. Every Wednesday, you're going to be hanging out with me and Yandura. This is until we have a new Disney Plus show that comes out. You'll be hanging out with us in the Star Wars waiting room. That's what we call it on Wednesdays. Star Wars Wednesdays waiting room. This is our episode 2 because we did our last one last week, which was really fun. So this is kind of the second week that we're doing this, and it's just been a blast to see a lot of you guys coming through, checking it out, supporting. Again, make sure you guys go follow Yandura too. He's got some cool music stuff coming out, so be sure to follow him and get the updates on that. I know you're on Spotify and YouTube, iTunes.
Apple Music, I'm everywhere.
He's everywhere, man.
Yeah, you can even find my music on TikTok if you want to make a video with one of my sounds.
Okay. So yeah, y'all know where to go. Make sure y'all go follow him. And I feel like a lot of you guys who are here, you guys have already come from TikTok, so I don't need to tell you guys. But if you're watching on TikTok, make sure you guys come over to my YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. We love to see you there and hang out. So other than that, we're going to go ahead and end here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you for the next stream. Peace. And Yandura, I got to see how you end your thing.
Oh yeah. You know how we end these things? Every time.
Oh, there's the shades. Hey.
You call it the Yandura face.